All right, so I'm gonna throw a quick one out. Getting ready to go to the gym, do a little bit of climbing, and just wanted to maybe a little advice. I guess it would be from your Uncle Kevin here. Um, so look, doom scrolling is prevalent. Everybody's just looking at the world go to shit on their phones, on their social media, on the news, everything, and it's real easy to get into a pit and not be able to get out of it. Now, yeah, there's a lot we should be talking about. There's a lot going on. There's a lot you should be concerned about. This is true. This is true. But if I've learned anything, I mean, in 50 years, I've learned a lot of shit. But if I learned anything recently, uh, one of the biggest lessons I learned, it's going to sound silly, is if you've ever watched Hot Ones, which if you hadn't, you should. It's a great show. It's where an interviewer and a celebrity eat increasingly hotter hot wings, and he asks them questions. And I'm putting you in a vulnerable state because I mean you're burning, but it's a fascinating thing to watch. But there's a lesson to be taken from it that you can take in life, and this lesson is this: you can't just eat the hot wings and think everything's going to be okay. Every once in a while, you got to take a break and drink a little milk or eat some ice cream. You got to deaden the heat a little bit for you to maintain. And that's what the world's like right now. Everybody just constantly doom scrolling, constantly posting about how the world's gone to shit, constantly posting about how everything is bad. You're just eating hot wings, Stop. Get a scoop of ice cream, drink some chocolate milk, chill out a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of joy, a little bit of an escape. Because if you don't, you're just going to fuck yourself up. It's just going to be, that's all you're going to see. You're never going to see anything good out there. You're just going to see the bad. All you're going to see is the bad. And yeah, there's a lot of bad. Don't get me wrong. But what's the point of fighting for good if you forgot what it looks like? You have to remember what joy and happy feels like, even if it's just a little bit, because that'll drive you, because you'll like it so much, you'll want more of it. It'll also help keep you sane. I taught drums for a long time, and I would have students that would get down on themselves and get depressed and think they're not doing any better and like, oh, I'm never going to be any good at this. It's like, oh, I've been doing it the same way for weeks and nothing's getting better. And I used to always tell them, celebrate the little victories. Don't expect the broad strokes. But every time you see something little, anything that brings you a little bit of happy, that pushes you in the right direction, you got to celebrate it, because externally I could see that happening. And I would always point out the little stuff they were doing that was great, that they didn't realize how big a deal it was. So in your day, driving around, going to work, eating dinner, sitting with the family, whatever you're doing, take a minute and look up from your phone, from your doom scrolling, from your social media, wherever you are. Look around and find something that either uplifts you or fascinates you or puts your brain down a rabbit hole of like a little bit of research or something that would just occupy your brain away from the doom scrolling. And it's silly little things, but it's a thought experiment. Anything to pull you away from what's going on. And I'll give you an example. I had two things happen today going to get coffee, and they're silly. They're silly little things. But the moments that I thought about those two things, I didn't think about anything bad. And I'll tell you what they are, because they're tiny. One of them was this guy was walking a dog that couldn't have been a year old yet. It was a little pup. And he went to cross the street. And a lot of dogs will go to bolt across the street and won't pay attention to their owners. Well, this dog wasn't even a year old. And this dog loved that guy. He came to a stop before he crossed the street. And that dog sat down and didn't look across the street and didn't look around at anything else. He sat down and looked right up at him and just wagged his damn tail. Just happy as hell to be with that guy. And it was just a little moment of joy. It wasn't my dog. I didn't know the guy. But it was just this little window of joy in the world. Just happy little puppy looking up at this guy. And the moment he looked down and caught it, he lit up. He just saw that happy little puppy just being so happy and just so excited to be around daddy that he lit up too. And then instead of crossing the street when he could have, he spent extra time just talking to that dog and petting him and saying hi. It was just this amazingly happy little window. And I was just a part of it because I happened to be there at the stop sign. And for that moment, the world was okay. And even when after that, I ended up in a discussion in the line in the coffee shop about current world events. I was a little less down because I had just been a part of that. And then coming home, I was actually thinking about how, hey man, that little moment right there made me kind of happy, even though, I'm seeing signs where like, stop the genocide and he's not my president. And like, oh, well, it's pulled me back down again. But I was a little bit higher in the joy scale because of that one thing. And then what should happen? I see somebody else walking a dog. And I look up, and I always love seeing somebody walk a dog, by the way, especially if they're into it. But it was this tiny little woman walking the biggest damn German Shepherd I've ever seen. And she was the epitome of optimism and confidence, because not only did she have the leash in her left hand, but in both hands as well, holding up here to her chest, with a leash to the dog, she had a beverage carrier with not 4, what it was designed for to hold, but 6 coffees, 2 in the middle, full to the top. And she's just smiling, and the dog's wagging his tail and walking along. And she probably knew that dog was well behaved, but this could have gone south at any minute. And it just entertained me. It was, not that I was waiting for something to go bad or anything like that. It was just that, well, damn, that's confident. It just kind of made me chuckle a little bit. I was like, I don't think I'd have balls to do that. I would have taken the dog in the house first and come back out for the coffees. But just this moment of, well, you don't see that every damn day. And I was here before because that one little pup made me happy. And then I jumped to here. And that means I'm here. That whole bit right there, that whole bit of joy that I got, now just pushed bad out and put me in a better state of mind. It made me a little bit more optimistic and actually drove me to want to have more of that. So be involved, be concerned, pay attention to the world around you, worry about what's going on, especially affecting you and your family and your friends. But take a minute, find the little shit. Celebrate the little victories. See the small things around you that bring you a little bit of joy, because you deserve to be happy for a little bit and you deserve to be distracted. And I know this is crazy that I'm saying this because you're looking at it probably on a phone right now, but put your fucking phone down. Look around. I want you to try this for me. And I do this every time I go anywhere. If you're standing in line anywhere, coffee shop, fast food place, pay a bill, anything, don't take your phone out. Engage with the people around you. Because 1, you might meet somebody very fascinating. 2, you might learn something you don't know. 3, you might have somebody that has a level of optimism and confidence on par with that little lady with her massive dog and her 6 coffees. That'll fuel you. And you wouldn't have got that if you'd have been staring at your phone. So don't let it creep in. Don't let it own your soul. There's good out there. There is. There are good people out there. And there's a potential for a better tomorrow. But we got to want it. We got to know what it feels like. And we can't forget what it's like to have joy in our lives. So celebrate the little victories, y'all. It ain't all bad. All right. Be good. Be good to each other. Try to be a little better. And celebrate puppies. Find some happy out there. All right, that's it. I'm going to go climb some stuff.